Hello, my name is Sister Johanna, and I am the director of the Capital Campaign at the Christine Center. I would like to thank you for taking time to view the DVD of the Center. It's our joy to share it with you for two reasons. First, so you will get to know the Center and its mission, and second, that you will become aware of the needs of the Center and make a donation to the Capital Campaign. If you have not been to the Christine Center, we hope this DVD will raise in you a desire to visit the Center, participate in its programs, and support it in any way you can. So relax, sit back, and take delight in the history, spirituality, and movement into the future of the Christine Center. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to share with you the spirit and the flavor of the Christine Center. We hope that it is an experience of invitation, inspiration, and imagination. May you have a taste of the stillness and beauty that calls visitors back again and again to the Center. It offers opportunity to take time away in quiet and in beauty, to listen deeply to the soul and to spirit, and to experience the well springs of divine love. From the beginning, the Christine Center welcomed members of all faith traditions. All seekers sincerely desiring spiritual depth can find a place here to practice and to reflect, alone or with others. It is also a place to meet companions on the spiritual path, to be inspired by them, and to develop friendships that can help nurture and sustain one's own inner seeking and growth. The Center is a place that addresses itself not only to the inner life, but also turns its attention outward. Program participants are continuously encouraged to explore ways to bring their practice into everyday life, to make a difference in the world, to meet with inner wisdom the many challenges of the 21st century. Here at the Christine Center, the Board of Directors and staff have nurtured a vision that provides a natural sanctuary for spiritual deepening. It is the joy and delight of all who serve here to provide a place that honors beauty and stillness. One of the hallmarks of the Christine Center experience is an invitation to feel deeply a sense of belonging and a profound interconnection and at-homeness with all of creation. The extraordinarily beautiful natural setting and all the various rooms and hermitages help those who come to drink deeply of silence and stillness. The environment of the Center is thoughtfully designed to support a sense of holy presence and to encourage all to go within to find their spiritual core. The staff and teachers also make every effort to ensure that all who come not only have opportunity for quiet, but also leave feeling renewed and energized. The experience of inner work at the Christine Center is intended to be challenging, deepening, and uplifting. The persons that work at the Christine Center, either as work-study persons, delighted volunteers, as supportive staff, or as superb teachers, all do their best to focus on the needs and desires of those who come. Every effort is made to foster a sense of reverence and sanctuary for soul. Beginning with morning prayer, one of the most important ways that the spirit of sanctuary is fostered is the way that those who serve here offer their daily work as a form of spiritual practice. Each task becomes an opportunity for mindful, joyful presence, all contributing to an atmosphere of peace and happiness for staff and guests alike. The staff recognizes their unique participation in the experience of each person that comes. It is their joy and delight to meet and honor the individual spiritual journey of each guest, and to support in any way they can the deepening of soul that each seeker desires. The diversity of our guests stimulates and inspires us. Our freshly articulated mission statement summarizes the commitment of our staff and teachers. The Christine Center embraces persons of all spiritual paths in a natural sanctuary for spiritual deepening and global transformation. The Christine Center stands in a long tradition of spiritual seeking and prayerful practice. It has sturdy, mystical roots that are more than 2,000 years old. Persons who come to savor the stillness at the Christine Center follow in the tradition of the early desert mothers and fathers. Like them, they have the desire to leave for a while their everyday life and to seek greater depth and meaning. The photograph is an aerial view of the Hermitage's church and retreat center at Cappadocia. This area has been in constant hermitage and retreat use since the 4th century. The retreat tradition of mutual encouragement and companionship on the spiritual journey continued to evolve in the Christian mystical tradition, eventually blossoming in the lives and teachings of Saint Teresa of Avila and Saint John of the Cross. A contemporary expression of the mystical traditions can be found in the inspiration and experience of Thomas Merton, as well as teachers from other spiritual traditions. Unique to the Christine Center is the 800-year-old Franciscan tradition that influences and shapes the welcome and experience of all those who find their way here on their spiritual journey. The statue of St. Francis that you see here welcomes guests as they enter the silo upon their arrival at the center. Born in the 12th century, St. Francis was inspired to find the consolation of God in solitude and stillness. Meeting God there, he returned from his hermitage experience filled with joy and love. He embraced all creation as his brother and sister, speaking the good news of God's love to all creatures and all people, without exception. Like St. Francis, St. Clare was also inspired to seek God in the stillness and solitude of her monastery chapel, which became a renowned place of hospitality and a source of spiritual direction and encouragement for all of Assisi. The Franciscan tradition of St. Clare and St. Francis continues at the Christine Center through the heritage of the founding community, the Wheaton Franciscans, and the ongoing presence of the Franciscan Sisters of Perpetual Adoration, who continue to serve as teachers and staff. Both communities have a rich tradition of the practice of Eucharistic presence. They name themselves as active contemplatives, seeking the holy in the everyday and the Christ in everyone that they meet. Active contemplation means grace-filled activity. This practice of active contemplation is supported and sustained at the Christine Center. Each guest is another holy one to be welcomed. Franciscans also have a particularly intimate approach to the holy in nature. Guests are encouraged to find God there, to drink deeply of the blessing of all creation, and to savor the inspiration of its great stillness and beauty. Because the Christine Center is dedicated to the preservation of the natural sanctuary that surrounds it, guests often have the opportunity to observe nature's creatures firsthand. The bountiful wildlife and their instinctual wisdom offer another rich dimension to the learning opportunities here at the Christine Center. Now that we have shared a bit about who and what the Christine Center is, here is a bit of its history. In 1980, after spending a number of years in stillness and solitude herself, Wheaton Franciscan sister Virginia Mary Barta came to Willard, Wisconsin with a dream of creating a place where others might find what she herself had found in contemplation and prayer. A place where seekers of God could find hospitality and inner deepening on their spiritual journey. Sister Virginia left Wheaton with a dream and a faithful early companion, Sister Davina. Together in prayer and great hope, they planted the seeds that grew into the Christine Center. Under Sister Virginia Mary's leadership and inspired determination, within a few years, a barn loft became a beautiful meditation hall. Cow stanchions were replaced with a spiritual library, and a silo was transformed into an uplifting and sacred chapel. The farmhouse where the sisters and other helpers lived became a thriving spiritual center, and within the space of a few years, 15 hermitages flourished. There was even a health food store in a tiny old abandoned post office. All this growth depended on the willingness to do even the most unexpected tasks with spiritual zest. The growth and unfolding of what the Christine Center was to become also depended from the beginning on welcomed and valued relationships. It could never have been done without staff, volunteers, friends, and supporters all along the way. What the Christine Center became as a result of all the help and support in those early years was exactly what Sister Virginia Mary hoped, a holy place where seekers of all faiths could find God. 27 years later, a beautiful guest center and another community of Franciscan sisters continued a tradition in which all guests are welcomed, hermitages are tended, and the souls of all seekers find solitude and nourishment. This is the Christine Center today, built in the year 2000 under the direction of Ron Retzlaff, Sister Johanna, and the Board of Directors. Today, it is a thriving center of spiritual deepening, a place for restoration and renewal, and a home away from home for those who want to find God, both within and without. Today, guests at the Christine Center find rest in our simple guest rooms or in our many hermitages. Every effort is made to provide the simple beauty and quiet ambiance that best supports contemplation and deep reflection. Second only to the spiritual nourishment the Christine Center affords is the attention given to the nourishment of the body as well. Meals are thoughtfully and beautifully prepared, stressing naturally simple and soulfully satisfying foods. Just as the daily constructing of soulful meals is a necessary daily activity, so is our dedication to ongoing growth and improvement of the center. Volunteers and work-study people are warmly appreciated and depended upon. Partnerships of all kinds are greatly welcomed. What the center has become would have been impossible without them. The friends and supporters of the Christine Center have made this sanctuary possible. It is a holy collaboration for the creation of a sacred space. This is the Christine Center today. From its earliest beginnings as the inspired dream of Sister Virginia Mary Barta to the place of deepening and retreat it has become, the Christine Center has blossomed. Today it is once again poised for growth and ready to grow ever more fully into a place of spiritual deepening and holy sanctuary. we keep dreaming. From simple seeds watered in the early 1980s, the vision now includes the dream of a new chapel, enhanced meeting and office space, new laundry and shower facilities for our hermits and other guests, as well as 2 new hermitages. Here you can see the layout of our current center, as well as the proposed new addition, which extends to the northeast between the guest house and dining room. The new addition will add offices, a library, a meeting room, and a chapel. Our current facilities are already often stretched to full capacity, and our number of guests continues to grow. We dare to dream because that is exactly how the Christine Center first began. Here you can see just how boldly we dare to trust the initial inspiration that such a place as this is needed. Our capital campaign budget includes $500,000 for the addition to the main building, $150,000 for a Life Source Center for personal care, providing showers, bathrooms, and laundry facilities, $150,000 for 2 new modern hermitages, $100,000 for repairs and renovations to existing hermitages and the house, and $100,000 for a fund for ongoing maintenance and future projects, for a total campaign goal of $1 million. And we know we will find the help we need. Our intention for this capital campaign is to take the Christine Center into the next decade of spiritual hospitality and service, but most of all to continue the tradition of providing sanctuary and stillness for soul. This is the heart of what the Christine Center offers. Sanctuary. Stillness. Soul. Our gift and our legacy to a turbulent world and a restless world, and like Sister Virginia Mary, our foundress, and up through the staff, the board, and the administrative team, Cecilia, Johanna, and Henrietta, all dedicate their efforts so people of all paths can continue to find a spiritual home at the Christine Center. We invite you to contribute to this important work in any way you can, and most of all, we invite you to come and experience the stillness for yourself. Welcome to Holy Sanctuary and to Holy Stillness. Welcome home to the Christine Center, and join us in any way that you can.
Now that you've experienced the Christine Center, we hope you've been inspired by its mission and will take the opportunity to visit us and make a donation to our capital campaign. It would be a pleasure to talk with you if you would like to know more about the center or the capital campaign. Your generosity to the campaign is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and God bless you.